Hi, I'm Martha. Welcome to my sewing studio. Today I am doing a Thailand shopping haul. I also want to take a moment at the top to acknowledge that I haven't posted in a long time, and that's because I was sewing my wedding dress and then I got married, and then 2 weeks later I went on my honeymoon for about 2.5 weeks, and I have now been home for just a couple of days. I'm recovering from jet lag. I'm also sort of coming down from all that excitement, and I'm trying to get back into my regular routine. Right now I'm going to show you everything I bought in Thailand. If you've never been to Thailand, which it was my first time going, it is a shopping mecca. I've never been anywhere where shopping is so just like directly accessible to you at all moments of every day. There is stuff for sale everywhere. There are people selling food in the streets, souvenirs, boutiques. There are morning markets, night markets. There are shopping malls, and the malls are incredible. There are these luxury malls that are insane. They're like gorgeous. Shopping is pretty exciting there. I'm looking at my pile of stuff over here right now. I'm trying to decide the best order to show you things. This is gonna be fun. A lot of stuff is wrapped, or when I bought it and they put it in a bag, I don't open it again. Let's dive in. I'm gonna start with what's closest to me, which is baskets. There are a lot of amazing baskets and wicker items in use everywhere in Thailand and also for sale everywhere. So these are some gorgeous baskets that I purchased. I bought these both in Chiang Mai actually. This one I bought to use as a handbag. If you can believe it, I think it would just be a really sweet purse. It's kind of the right size. It has a lot of depth. Its walls are double thickness of this beautiful woven, and then it has kind of a rope handle. Just to give you an idea of the price point, this was 350 baht, which is probably around like 11 US dollars. So that kind of gives you an idea also of why shopping is very appealing. Over there, you can get handmade goods for very reasonable prices. I bought this at a very small sort of basket shop in Chiang Mai. We pulled over the car at the side of the road. I was like, we have to go in there. So cute little souvenir. And then this one I bought to use as a sewing basket. It has this wonderful cloth cover. It has a drawstring. It's got these wooden beads. I think it's ideal for sewing, especially because we have cats. So you can sort of close it up. Nobody can get in there, tie a knot, that type of thing. It'll look nice in the living room. And it's pretty spacious. It's got these little feet. By the way, this was my personal item when we were flying home. We flew from Bangkok to Tokyo and then Tokyo to JFK, and I did just carry this. I had it in a plastic bag when I put it in the overhead compartment, but this traveled really well. I also had a backpack with my regular carry-on stuff in it. Okay, for our next category, I'm gonna do bags. I bought this bag in Bangkok at a boutique. It was handmade and I love it. You see a lot of string bags at all of the markets and various boutiques and stuff. This was the only one just like this that I saw, and I love it. They had it in a few colors, and my initial instinct was to get black, but I decided on pink. And then Jason, my husband, had the greatest idea. He was like, what if this insert bag you made in different colors? So contrast colors that could go in here, and I think that would be so fun. Like, what if this was a deep fuchsia? What if it was orange? What if it was red? What if it was green? It's like you could kind of coordinate it to your outfit. She's such a cutie. This is the size of bag I really like to have when I'm just like out and about, like keys, phone, wallet. This is from Naraya. This is a very Thai brand, and so I thought it was great for gifts and souvenirs just because you see these shops all over the place and they sell tons of bags. I'm trying to think of like an equivalent brand. I can't really think of any. They have so many styles of bags, and then within each style it comes in many prints. This is the most sealed plastic bag I've like ever encountered. Okay. I guess this needs a little bit of weight in it in order to really open up. But this is sort of, do I have something heavy I can put in here? Magnetic pin cushion. Well, that's not even heavy enough. I'll need to put some cosmetics in here, I guess. But this bag is sort of a little cosmetics bag or little travel sort of carry case. I like that it's collapsible actually. So again, this is one that you could buy in like a million different prints, and then this print came in a million different bag shapes as well. But I thought that was just a nice little Thailand souvenir because it is such a Thai brand. Okay, and then speaking of Thai brands, this came from a shop like within one of the malls that is run by we tried to understand this. It's run by the Princess of Thailand. And I believe she drew these characters, but if you're Thai and you're watching this, can you please help me understand? I think that this shop is sort of an effort of the Thai princess, and I think that she drew these animals, but I could be wrong. It was really hard to gather information. Anyway, she does a lot of support for Thai handicrafts, so there are these boutiques. We went into a couple of them where they have really lovely Thai handicrafts being sold, as well as this line of goods, and it is some effort of the princess. Okay, so this is a tote bag, obviously, cotton canvas tote. It has these long straps, also these short straps, and it has a little piece of Velcro here to hold it closed. Oh, and it has a little pocket. This cost me around $7 or $8, and it's just the kind of bag I kind of like need in my life. I love having a tote. Oh, look at this. This is a thoughtful design. It has these pockets at the end. I could like put a bottle of wine in there or something. Great little picnic tote. I think I'll probably use it like for knitting. A knitting project tote. It's got the volume and it's so cute. So yeah. And by the way, I've run this through the translation app a bunch of times and it doesn't register because it's too handwritten. If you know better, please help. Okay guys, we're getting into like very exciting stuff right now. Should we do a garment? Do a garment, okay. I bought this at the night market in Chiang Mai, which is a very popular night market. I found this to be an irresistible item. The woman who made this wrapped it up nicely. She was really fun to meet, and she's not on Instagram or anything. I'm not sure like what social media she uses, maybe Facebook or something, but she took a lot of video of me. So somewhere out there, there's video of me like holding this garment, trying it on. Like she was getting a lot of footage, so it's out there somewhere. Are you excited? You should be. You should be really excited. She told me it takes 2 months to embroider these. You see a lot of garments with this technique of embroidery all throughout Thailand at all of the markets, but hers was sort of unique in that it's so full coverage. I mean, incredible. I love that it's on the black ground, and actually it was this brown dragon that really won me over. So it's like a little kimono jacket. I don't see a world where this is like a garment I wear all the time, but I do think it'll be really fun at a party. And I also think it would be beautiful hanging on the wall. Like I can see myself mounting it on the wall here in the studio. It would look lovely, like with a dowel to hold it out. Anyway, it's a really special piece. I had to have it. That one's super exciting. I think with like a wide leg black pants. Beautiful. Tough act to follow. So let's go into some sort of like quieter goods. When you're in another country, I highly recommend going into shops like a 7-Eleven or another convenience store, and also a grocery store. This is white pepper that I bought at the grocery store. We love to use white pepper, especially in like ramen or other soup. And so this is something we'll use, and then in a gorgeous tin. This is some tea. I think it's actually a Chinese sort of medicinal tea from what I've been able to translate. It's called 3 Horses tea. I just loved the box. This will either be great black tea or it won't be. And either way, I think it was very inexpensive. I know I bought this at 7-Eleven, so low risk. This I had to have the tin, but also I love this tea. If you like Thai iced tea, this is it. This is what you like. So it would be this tea brewed and then mixed maybe with some sugar, or maybe just with sweetened condensed milk, or maybe sugar and sweetened condensed milk. It's really sweetened. They also make it just as a clear tea, no milk added, with lemon, which is delicious. This brand has tea shops. Like if you think of like a boba shop, they have shops like that, and you can get this, all different versions of this tea. And this is like, there's a lot in there. Let's stay with tin for a minute. Aren't these beautiful? These are made in Thailand. I believe they're made in Bangkok, or maybe the brand is based in Bangkok. We saw these for sale a few places. They also make platters and Tiffins and all kinds of beautiful items. They come in a few other colors. There was sort of an orangey color. You can get it in black, silver, and gold. And these mimic some more traditional pieces. So this is a really cool modern take on it. It's also really great for a cold drink. So if you want to put a nice icy, I don't know, Moscow Mule, or maybe just an iced tea, whatever in here, it will stay nice and cold and frosty. I love these. I think they're beautiful, and I love a functional souvenir. We bought these at a really beautiful boutique in Bangkok. I will put some photos of them up there because it was such a great spot. It was also a cafe at the back, but the shopping was at the front, and just they had a very charming selection of items. And I think everything was made in Bangkok or made in Thailand. Many stores there are that way, and a lot of the brands remain within Thailand, or at least within Asia. So they're not things you could buy in the United States. So it really is worth it. You're there, buy it, make room in your suitcase, because you're not going to be able to find it elsewhere. And then I promise, this is my final tin. I was going to buy an elaborate tiffin in this color from the same collection, but it was actually very difficult to open and close the tiffin. It was just sort of like squeaky, and the metal sort of rubbed together in a way where I thought there's a little too much friction there. And then when we were at the big market in Bangkok, I kept seeing these and I had to have it. It's so cute. I actually think this would be ideal for sequin and bead storage. Obviously it's meant for food. What a cutie. So here's how this works. So you can take out each container and they're like fully enameled. Honestly, the cutest thing I ever did see. This was 420 baht. These were for sale everywhere. I chose to buy it from some lovely older ladies who had a shop that was full of kitchenwares. So some shops are sort of only selling items like this that I think they know that tourists want. And it was a shop where she was really just selling like ordinary kitchen goods, and then she had these at the front to kind of draw you in, and I was like, you can draw me in. I'll buy from you. So let's put this last one, and then you flip this down and that holds it in place. So also, if you wanted to take a picnic with some warm food in it, a really fancy lunch, something like that, or you could store your sequins in here. All right, guys, it's the moment you've been waiting for. I'm going to open my fabrics and sewing notions, anything sewing related that I bought. I didn't buy too much, both because it's heavy and takes up space, and also because I have a studio full of stuff. So when traveling, I do like to get things as a souvenir, but I try not to go overboard. I try to be reasonable, buy things that I know I will use. So I was able to stay on target with that. I did want to say, candidly, if you find shopping for fabric chaotic in places like New York, you might be really overwhelmed in Thailand. It's zany. I had to go once and then come back later. If you're familiar with my blog, I'm known for my New York City fabric shopping guides, garment district fabric shopping guides. I always say in them, you might need to visit a store like Mood, not buy anything, and then go out and have a cup of coffee and come back and allow yourself to become immersed in it. People probably aren't gonna speak English. You might have to kind of pantomime some things. Everyone's gonna try to make it work. Some places you might be able to bargain, other places might have fixed prices. There's a lot going on. I found it pretty overwhelming, and I think that I'm good at getting into an overwhelming shopping situation and feeling comfortable, and I still was like, I think if I went back again now, I could shop more. In that moment, I was like, oh my God, this is a lot. Add into that while you're shopping for any of these things in Thailand, it's really, really hot and it's really, really humid. If you're at a place like the mall, it's air conditioned. Probably there is at least one sales associate who speaks serviceable English. But if you're in a place like a market, probably maybe someone speaks English, but also maybe nobody does. And that's fine. It's on you, the visitor, to be able to speak the native language. I obviously don't speak Thai. And then additionally, there is so much. Even if you're in a booth or a shop where people are patient with you, it can feel a little bit stressful because you're like, I want to take my time and look. I also don't want to be rude. I want to make sure I'm making a purchase. I don't know how much things cost and I'm nervous I'm going to go over my budget. There's kind of a lot flying around in your mind. And it took me a while to acclimate. I think if I went back again, I could shop a little bit more comfortably just because I would know what I was getting into. But as my first time, I was like, whew, wow, okay, that was wild. Okay, I'm gonna show you this in I'm gonna show these to you in the chronological. I'm gonna show these to you in the chronological order that I bought them. When we were in Chiang Mai, I went to the Hmong market, which is sort of to the east of the city center. You can walk there, you could take a tuk-tuk, you could probably take a grab. I only bought one small thing. They have a ton of fabric there. Candidly, a lot of it was a lower quality fabric than what I was personally looking for. There were a lot of cottons and cotton blends, synthetics. There's a ton of fun stuff. I highly recommend going. It's really fun. There's also a lot of apparel for sale, like women's clothing, women's accessories. There's a ton of stuff. It's a really great market and it had a good vibe to it. So I definitely recommend going, but I did not buy any fabric there. I stumbled into a very cute sort of notions shop. I went through the front because I was really thirsty and I was like, I need to get a drink. And I went into a store that I guess I would describe as a New Yorker as like a bodega. And I was getting a drink out of the case and I looked towards the back and I was like, this used to be a haberdashery. You could tell that at some point in time it was a thriving haberdashery. And now it's like if you had a haberdashery and then started stocking a bodega in there, so everything was mixed up. He had really wonderful notions for sale. A lot of them were imported, which makes sense. A lot of things like needles materials are made in places like Germany, and so that's what they had for sale. But I bought this lovely box of Taylor's chalk with this beautiful white rabbit on it, and it does have Thai language written on it. And this, I'm like unreasonably excited about this. It's a whole box. This was 58 baht, and when I bought it, he was like, do you want just one piece? And I said, no, I want the whole box. So it has 3 pieces of blue, 3 pieces of white, 3 pieces of yellow, and 3 pieces of red. It's really nice chalk. And then it has instructions for how to sharpen your chalk, how to store it. I'm delighted. Fabric! All right, I did my fabric shopping in Bangkok at the end of the trip. Fabric is heavy and it takes up a lot of space, so I always buy it at the end of any international trip. This store is not inside of Samui Market, but it's like right nearby it. The shop is called Kimono House. I'll show you this lovely little receipt and card that I got from them so you can see the price of everything. Tons of linen and tons of what I assume is a linen rayon blend, that type of fabric. And I mean like tons. Like so much fabric. They were very nice inside of this store, very helpful. There was one young man who spoke a little bit of English, and so he was sort of paired with me, and he was sweet. He was like following me around the store, and then he was like, you shop alone? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, yes. And he was like, okay, I'll be here. So he was kind of offering like, I can come with you around the store, and when you find something you like, I'll help you with it, or you can do all your shopping and then touch base with me at the end, which is what I did. And there was so much linen. I just wanted to look and see all of the colors before making my decision. So once I had selected the colors that I wanted, I went and got him, and he was able to help me. Things were sorted by color and by like the weight of the fabric. Now, the only thing that I do want to note, these colors look totally different from how they did in the store due to the lighting. So they look really different to me than what I thought I was purchasing. I thought these were both a much darker purple color than they are. This is sort of a bluish bubblegum. I would say it's a pink / pinky purple. This color changes a lot depending on the light, and I love it. And this is a shirting weight. I bought 4 meters. I went with meters because I never regret having a few extra inches over yards. This color I thought was the exact same purple as my favorite purple linen dress that I've sewn for myself that needs to be replaced because it's worn out, but it's in fact lighter. But I might dye it. It's a really good starting point. Regardless, if you know me, you know I love this color. I love both of these colors. They're really beautiful together. And then this delicious, really deep dark espresso brown. I'm trying to wear brown. Haven't done it yet. It's an idea I have about wearing brown. And then I love these colors together. This one again is shirting weight. I think it's the lightest weight of the 3. No, these 2 are the same weight. And this one's slightly heavier. I'm gonna wash these. I'm gonna put these through my washer dryer on hot like 3 times. That is how I like to prepare my linen. Not just for pre-shrinking, but it gets a lot softer. The more you wash linen, sort of, I personally like the texture better after it's been like pretty heavily washed. So those are my fabrics. I'm really happy with them. Positive shopping experience. They are cash only. So next I went inside Samui Market. This is from Vadi Ribbon and Trimmings. One young woman there who spoke perfect fluent English. But interestingly, she wasn't the one who helped me. She sort of helped the woman who helped me. They had a lot of ribbons, but what I was looking for was sequins. And I bought from them these very large feather shaped sequins. These were 25 baht for 100 pieces. And then as I was leaving, I spotted more that I wanted, and I was like, wait, can I buy more? So these are 75 baht for 15 pieces each. I don't really know what I would use these for. I find them to be a very inspiring object, just a beautiful little object. These sequins are hand sewn onto maybe like an organza, something like that, like polyester organza, and you can cut them apart and then sew them onto something. And I find them to be really beautiful and inspiring. Okay, and then the final thing, this store was so cool. Oh my gosh. This was a trimming store. This one was not for the faint of heart because it was incredible. This was like the coolest store I've ever been in. If you were like, I'd like to buy 1,000 yards of trim, this is the store where, I'm not joking, you could go in here and they'd be like, okay, wait a few minutes. Like, come pick it up in an hour. To say this store was overwhelming would be a huge understatement. It was amazing. It rocked my socks. I would go back here in a heartbeat. Had a hard time focusing, but I did my best. And I also was like, don't go too crazy. So I didn't go too crazy. Most things in this store were sold in pre-cuts of 15 yards or 20 yards. And that started at 100 baht, which is about $3.15. $3.15 for 15 yards of trim. Let that sink in. I would say $3.15 is often what I pay for 1 yard of trim. And so when you're making a dress that calls for 5 yards of trim, you're like, wow, okay, we're investing here. I only bought 3 pieces because I already own a lot of trim and I own a lot of bulk trim, but obviously this was irresistible to me. One thing that I have talked about with a lot of my sewing friends is how difficult it is to find nice black trim. And often I'm sewing a dress that's black fabric or where black trim would make more sense than white trim or colored trim. And I look in my stash and I only have rickrack. It happens every time. And then when I'm out in the world looking for black trim, I can never find a really beautiful one. I was just like, now's the time. So I love this one. This is the kind of trim I can see myself using for so many things, like putting this on the edge of a ruffle, inserting this into a seam. I mean, it's wonderful. You can cut apart these dots if you want to. I've done that with similar trims before, or you can leave them intact, but this is fabulous. And again, this was 100 baht and there's 15 yards here. This one cost a little bit more. I think these other two were like 150 baht, maybe even 200 baht. I don't have a receipt, but I thought this was just lovely. Just lovely. I like that it has a little bit of complexity to it. Feels a little bit more unusual to me. You know I love ladder lace or entre deux, and they had a lot of it there actually, but it was all a wider width than what I prefer. I have a really, I really prefer it to be probably less than 1 centimeter, and they were all wider than that. This has the ladder and then this beautiful curly Q. I can see a few ways of using this. It could be applied on top. It could be inserted. This could be used as an entre deux, which means between two. So with fabric coming off of both sides. Delightful. Those for me were a thrill to purchase. Yeah. I'm really happy with this like fabric and notion situation. And then I have left my one like big souvenir as well as skincare. So let me show you my big souvenir. This is a very exciting piece for me. If you're in Bangkok, do not miss the Jim Thompson House Museum. It is an incredible museum and garden, beautiful place to visit. Jim Thompson is an American man who is credited with reinvigorating the Thai silk industry and sort of introducing Thai silk to the rest of the world as a luxury item, as something amazing that we all should celebrate. Also had his own line of Thai silk, and it is still in business. Parker Posey wore a lot of his caftans in the White Lotus, and it's sort of generally still regarded as this very high-end, gorgeous silk brand. So we went to the museum. It was amazing. We saw the stores at all the high-end malls. They're really beautiful stores. And we did buy a number of gifts here because everything was so beautiful. And this is what I bought for myself. Really known for his scarf. I love to wear a scarf. I wore a silk scarf a lot in Thailand because when you're out and about, you might be wearing a tank top. And then if you want to go to a temple, you're required to cover your shoulders and your back. So I would bring a big silk scarf and wrap it around myself, and then you're okay to go into the temples and shrines. And that scarf folds up neatly in your handbag. You're ready to go. I decided to go with one with a Bangkok theme. And I feel like this is one of those things that many years from now, when we're celebrating our anniversary, I'll pull out the scarf and wear it. Oh, so beautiful. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. We saw this scarf at a few different boutiques, and they have tons of scarves, like so many scarves on display. And every time I would gravitate towards this one. Every time I was like, oh, I pulled out the same one again. And so when we went to the Jim Thompson House Museum, they obviously have a store there. And I once again gravitated towards the same scarf, and I was like, I'm gonna buy it. They boxed it up for me really beautifully. And I want to note, it has a hand-rolled hem. Just gorgeous. Isn't that exquisite? It's so beautiful. And it's just this imagery of Bangkok. So all the familiar sights and the feral cats and the koi fish, and there's tigers, and there's just like so many cute things happening here. The dragons and the shrines and important buildings. So it's fun. We went to so many of these sites. Maybe I'd wear it like this. They must have spritzed it with a scent. It smells really good. It smells like jasmine. Oh, I just love it. I love that they gave me the box. I'll store it in the box. So a wonderful little luxury souvenir. All right, we're on our last category, which is skincare, lotions and potions. Some of this I bought kind of like as we went. but a lot of this is from Butrium Beauty Companion. We're gonna start boring and get more exciting. I bought Nivea Extra Bright Repair and Protect 50 SPF. I bought this lotion and used it while we were there, and then I bought myself a fresh bottle as we were leaving. This lotion goes on exactly like Nivea Soft. Doesn't feel like sunscreen. It doesn't smell like sunscreen. It is not sticky. It moisturizes your skin. It goes on just like body lotion, but it's SPF 50. Like, why can't we have nice things? Amazing. Okay. Then this was one of the first things I bought when we got there. It is Biore UV Perfect Milk, and this is the sports and outdoor, and it's SPF 50. And I believe it's formulated, let's see, very water resistant, no stain, light milk texture. This is hard for me to say. This might be my new favorite sunscreen on earth. The Innisfree, the K-Beauty Innisfree has been my #1 for a while, but this might be it. It was such a light formulation. It goes on really easily. It's not greasy. It makes your skin feel moisturized and very smooth. Like, love. So I bought a bottle I've been using, and then I bought myself a backup bottle. And then I also bought this one, which is the same, but this one says Smooth Velvet Oil Control Milk. My skin's very dry. It's not oily, but I'll give this one a try as well, because I think it might be a little bit lighter because it's not sports and outdoor. I don't know, we'll find out. Staying with SPF, I bought Skincare UV Lip Glassy Balm 4X Clear Skincare UV Lip. I think I just told you what this is. It's basically a clear chapstick, but SPF. Gonna give it a try. All right, this one's Japanese, but it's DHC lip cream. I bought one of these at the airport. I used it throughout the trip. I bought myself a backup. It's clear. It's in more like a lipstick container, which is nice to have in your purse. Doesn't seem to have any like additives to it. It doesn't have any fragrance. It had a light, almost like lanolin smell to it, which makes me curious if lanolin is an ingredient in here. I don't know, but it's very moisturizing, and I felt like it stayed on my lips for a long time and continued to moisturize for a long time. So love. Senka Perfect Whip Beauty Foam Collagen In. Guys, I bought it for the packaging. It's so cute. But this is a face wash, and I'm gonna try it. I'm not fussy about my face wash. I do have some tried and trues, but I'm gonna give this a try as well. I think it's just really cute. Okay, Barren Bliss Paste Powder Blush Moist Mochi. Joyful, Clean, Beauty. And this is in the color Berry Lava. This is a cream blush in a compact. I tried this in the store, the tester, and it had such a nice consistency, and it was really great color for me. I'm a blush girl. If I could only wear one thing on my face, why did I say that? Would it be blush? Oh my God. It would normally be black eyeliner, but it actually, like as I get older, it might be blush, okay? So I'm gonna try this one. I love a cream blush. And then finally, when we travel, I've been buying myself one nail polish, which I don't really know why, because I don't paint my nails anymore. I used to always have either a regular manicure or a gel manicure. I mean, for years, I always had my nails done, and I don't really do that anymore, and my nails are so much healthier now that I don't do that anymore. But I do like to paint my nails occasionally. So this is 1010, everything's in Thai, so I don't know the name of the color or anything like that, but it is a metallic blue. I love having blue nails. For my wedding, I got a metallic sort of silvery white manicure, and I was enjoying metallic. So as a nod to that, I went ahead and got this blue polish, and that's everything. That's everything I bought. I hope you guys liked this haul. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Also, like, if you have any commentary or feedback, if you're Thai and you can inform me on anything, especially that stuff with the princess, please let me know, because I'm like genuinely dying to know. And also, if you liked this video, please smash that like button. Please follow. All that stuff I'm supposed to say. But otherwise, I'll be back soon with sewing content, sewing planning content, and also stuff around my wedding dress, all that good stuff. So if there's anything that you want to see more urgently, again, let me know in the comments. I definitely am eager to get back to fall sewing. I think it's gonna help me get back in my routine. So I'm kind of like itching to do that more than make and edit new videos, but I will do both. I'm gonna say this so that I have accountability. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.